Hey MotoeXotica fans, see if you can guess what today's MotoCast theme is about. 34, if you got 34, you guessed it. Gold star for you. Hey MotoeXotica fans, welcome to this edition of MotoCast. Today we're going to talk about this incredible 34 Ford three-window coupe. This car is complete with power steering, power brakes, and air conditioning. It's a great little ride with updated wheels. Let's take a closer look. So this motor, we understand, has been stroked to a 348, given a bigger displacement. So about the same as a 350, a V8 motor. It's got power steering and complete with air conditioning, which is great for those rides on a summer day. It is set up to drive. Starts right up. It's got an auxiliary electronic fuel pump. It's got electric fan on it as well. You just hit a switch, bam, it turns right on. It's got power brakes with disc brakes up front, drums in the rear. It's got a Ford 9-inch rear end out of a sedan. So it's got all modern running gear on it. Makes this thing a dream to drive. 34s have been highly sought after from their inception in 34. They were a hot rodder's choice, and what makes them really unique are the suicide doors. Let's take a look right here. Look at that. Suicide. Why is that? Because when you open that door, somebody could swipe you and knock that door right off, opposed to opening it out, right? Because this door has to be fully open to get in. So this has a Ohio State assigned VIN number, which is the way you want it. You want somebody's state to have inspected a hot rod, gone through it, and assigned a 17-digit VIN number, as this one has. It's good in all 50 states. You can buy it, sell it, trade it, no problems at all. What you want to be careful for is sometimes replicas will have an assigned number by the manufacturers. Those don't really pass the sniff test these days, as local municipalities and state governments are looking more closely to make sure that these things are roadworthy and also that they haven't been stolen. Okay, inside this 34 coupe, it has all the creature comforts you need of a modern day car so that you can feel comfortable in today's conditions, all right? It's complete with a tilt steering wheel. There you go. It has a B&M ratchet shifter. It has aftermarket VDO gauges, so it keeps you up to date with water temperature, oil, and your voltmeter. It's only showing 9,000 miles, so my guess is that was since the car was completed. All these creature comforts make it very comfortable in today's modern world, but yet you still have that old school cool. So many of you will remember ZZ Top back in the 80s. We did the Eliminator car. Now that was a 33 Ford, so very close kinship to this, but this is a 34. The Eliminator ZZ Top car, a 33. Check out the difference. So Dodge and Ford were rivalries. This totally restored 34.
Too late, it's already sold.
Oh, well, you don't need to know about that. Somebody else will enjoy it. Hey MotoeXotica fans, today we're going to talk about another righteous 34. We're not talking about Walter Payton, we're talking about a 34 Deluxe Ford Roadster. The quintessential roadster, the most sought after roadster by hot rodders in the world. The one we have here today is finished in Dearborn Blue, after Dearborn, Michigan, right? It is one of 6,100 Deluxe Roadsters ever made. That's why they're sought after, because they're pretty scarce. We're coming out of Great Depression. 34 came out with this car, and it just set the world on fire. Everybody loved this car. All right, so up front is all business on this 34 Ford. It is just filled up with all kinds of cool stuff, right? You got the flying mascot Greyhound of Ford. Do note, it's got a broken arm on it, or leg if you will. Ford V8, it's a big thing. The flathead 221 cubic inch V8. It's got the 2-light original Ford stamp, big headlights with dual horns, dual fog lights. It's got the auxiliary push bar here. That way it gets those things in your way right out of the way. Just push it right out of the way. Fat fendered, all right? So these things here were just always, you could see them coming. You could tell they had that front shovel scoop front end on them, and then the dual side mounts. So if you should happen to have two flats at one time, you've got enough tires to fix two flats while you're on the road. Now, back in 34, think about it. There were not a whole lot of roads as we know them today. There certainly wasn't a highway. There was no interstates. Most of the roads out there were gravel roads, dirt at best. So narrow tires were essential, because if you go through these ruts and you go through the mud, you had to push through them. And that's why you see all these older cars with tall, tiny, skinny tires. Okay, so underneath the hood, we're looking at a largely stock, original power plant. These things didn't generate a whole lot of horsepower, so you can see that hot rodders preferred to put a big V8 in them when they had the chance. So inside this 34 Roadster, things were pretty sparky. You had a temp gauge, you had a fuel gauge, a speedometer. But the most interesting thing that you'll find inside here is a radio, right? They called it a kilocycles, right? Because it was the first AM radio available. What's interesting is when you look at it, you think it's another speedometer, but it starts at 55 and it ends at 150. I'm sure there was very few radio stations back 87 years ago, but this was one of the first ones that you'll find in any car. So this was the rumble seat in the back, or a mother-in-law seat, but in this case, this is gonna be Scott number 2 seat. Actually, Scotty's up front and Scott's in the back. Okay, could you guys keep it down back there? Don't you see I'm trying to give your mother directions? Get out and drive.
Thanks for watching. Now visit us on all of our social media platforms. You know what they are. Where all that crap and like and share and comment. Do it. You know you will. Thanks for watching again. Get out and drive.